looking at the technological advances. I used to be on dial-up looking for...
I know. The draft sucked. Don't even start, because that's where we gotta begin, man. Every year the WWE does something. They add little tidbits to the draft that makes the draft less fun. When they started drafting the champions, guys already on the brand, you drafting people who are already on the brand. It's a waste of a pick. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense what they're doing. You know, I liked when it felt random. Like, it felt like a random thing. Now it's, you know, they're trying to be like the NFL and the NBA. Look, I get that. But drafting Roman Reigns to SmackDown when he's already on SmackDown seems like the most ludicrous thing in the world. It's a waste of a pick. Then you draft Big E to Raw. He's already on Raw. Again, waste of a pick. You just kept the champions where they are. What you could have done is said that, okay, the champions are staying. Then if you didn't want to do that, because I know they switched Charlotte. She was the next pick. But even if you didn't want to do that, then you prepare for the draft. That's the thing. You prepare for the draft. What they did is say, we're going to draft everybody on the 1st. But they ain't actually going to move until the 22nd. So all this stuff that we're doing between now and then, moot. Completely pointless. Anybody who involved in a match from now to the 22nd means nothing. If you're holding a title now, Charlotte, for instance, the likelihood of her actually still being that champion on the 22nd, minimal. Oh, Bianca Belair is going to get a title shot on the 21st, right? Haha, she's on Raw. What is the point of that now? This is the thing about this draft, and it's every single year. They do not think. We put more effort into the draft than they do. This literally seems like they came up with this afternoon. It's ridiculous. You know, not all of it is bad though, but it's a waste of a pick. It's silly. So let's go through the draft so far. Start with Raw. Raw gets Big E. Yawn. He was already on Raw. Raw gets Bianca Belair, who I was fairly certain was not leaving. What is there for her to do on Raw except be the champion and be wasted? She was already on Raw last year, and it was horrible. I do not see it getting any better for her. But I get it. You know, new opponents. They're at least... Hopefully, there's going to be some new people there for her to wrestle, and they're not going to move like the entire SmackDown undercard to Raw. Then they drafted RK Bro, again already on Raw. Who cares? Then they drafted Edge. Now Edge is a good pick. He's got unfinished business with Seth Rollins. That 3-week period, I'm guessing, is going to be crown jewel. They will probably blow off the feud between Edge and Seth Rollins there. Edge was a decent pick. He was already on Raw last year. He won the Royal Rumble and jumped to SmackDown. So they just put him back where he was. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash were their third pick from the 3rd round. They were already on Raw. Keith Lee, already on Raw. So you've changed nothing. The 4th pick, Rey and Dominic Mysterio. I actually said they should have drafted Dominic. So I'm going to give myself half a point there, but they took Rey and Dominic, which I would have wanted to break up, but okay, we'll take Rey and Dominic. Again, they were on Raw last year, so, I mean, and so then the only surprise pick outside of Bianca Belair was Austin Theory, which I think is a really good pick, but he was also on Raw last year. So Raw drafted last year's Raw. That's really all it is. Except Big E. Big E was the only one that wasn't on Raw last year. Everybody else on this list was on Raw last year and either jumped to SmackDown or was drafted to SmackDown last year. So, nothing really new. You know, it was a complete total waste. Why would you draft people who are already... This doesn't make any sense. You should only really have access to the other brand's roster. You know, that would make the draft make more sense. If you have, you know, let's say the 2 brands, then SmackDown should only really be picking from Raw's talent pool, and Raw should only be picking from SmackDown's talent pool. Why are they picking people who are already on the show? Oh yes, I choose Keith Lee. Oh well, great, you had Keith Lee already. What was the point? What was the point of that? That's like the what's that team? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll say we with our first overall pick, we choose Tom Brady. It's like he's already on your team. You're gonna make sure he's on our team. You're gonna make him. What's this? Come on, man. SmackDown did a lot better because they actually moved people. Their first pick was Roman Reigns. Whatever. Okay, that one was kind of a dead giveaway. The second, they chose Charlotte Flair. Now, I actually gave myself credit for both Roman and Charlotte because I didn't believe Roman was leaving. And Charlotte was one of the people that I picked. And, it was kind of an interesting decision to bring both titles to SmackDown. I'm guessing they're probably going to make that a fatal four-way at Crown Jewel. Or they're going to do something slick. And what I believe is actually going to happen is that Bianca Belair is likely going to beat Charlotte for the Raw title. She's probably going to lose to SmackDown, the triple threat match. But she's going to win the Raw women's title at some point. So that ought to handle the Charlotte being champion on SmackDown thing. Even though I had some really good creative ideas, because I had the idea in my mind to draft Charlotte and to draft Becky, and then to be the SmackDown Women's Champion on Raw and the Raw Women's Champion on SmackDown. And you could do fun stuff with that because you have the they're still doing the brand invitationals, right? You could do them like open challenges. Anybody from SmackDown can join the Raw roster to challenge Charlotte for the title and try to be the hero to bring the title back. That could have been interesting. And they could still do that. But I'm guessing what they're going to do is they're just going to have Charlotte lose the title to the first person from Raw that she wrestles, which is probably going to be Bianca Belair, especially since after the main event tonight, it's more than likely going to be Bianca Belair. And you know what? Whatever. But Charlotte on SmackDown ought to be interesting. I'm pretty sure she was on SmackDown fairly recently, but it's felt like a long time because of all of the time off and stuff she's gotten. Drew McIntyre got drafted to SmackDown. Pretty much everybody saw this coming. Drew McIntyre is likely going to be the guy to beat Roman Reigns. If there's not going to be a Rock match, then I'm guessing we're going with Drew versus Roman, maybe at WrestleMania again. I don't know how people feel about that. How you feel about that, let me know in the comment section below. I'm not against it. I would have preferred it to be somebody else. I would have preferred it to be Keith Lee or somebody like that. But it's fine. It's fine. Kofi and Xavier Woods, the New Day. They separated the New Day again by drafting Kofi and Xavier to SmackDown. I guess I'm okay with this. It's not a surprise. Let's put it like that. It's not a surprise. What is a surprise? They drafted Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. Why even bother? Why even bother? It's like drafting your own linebackers. It's this Madcap Moss though. We're gonna have to have a conversation about Madcap Moss, okay? We gotta talk about that a little bit. We talk about it when we get there. But why waste a draft pick on fucking Happy Corbin? Whatever. In the fourth round, they picked Naomi. Again, they picked their own cheerleader. She was already on the roster. It's silly. And they drafted Jeff Hardy. And you know what? Best pick. That was a great pick, too. And I actually give myself a lot of credit for Jeff Hardy because I figured Jeff Hardy was going to jump over to SmackDown. He wasn't doing anything on Raw. I don't know what's up with certain people having so much momentum on SmackDown, then they get moved to Raw and that momentum just goes flying out the window. They did it to AJ Styles and they did it to Jeff Hardy. It's awful. Why would they do that? The moment that Jeff Hardy moved over to Raw, it just went downhill. It just went immediately downhill. So hopefully they can revitalize Jeff because, this is kind of his brand. This is where he was the guy. You know, he was the man on SmackDown, and also Jeff Hardy is invited to every cookout I have. You know, if I fire up the grill, Jeff Hardy is more than welcome anytime. The big surprise, of course, came in the third round where SmackDown drafted Hit Row. All 4 members of Hit Row. They got 4 picks. They got 4 picks at one time, which, of course, you know, comes with a lot of questions. B-Fab is not ready to wrestle. She is green as, baby shit. Okay, she is not good. Swerve ought to be fine. Top Dollar ought to be fine. Adonis ought to be fine. You know, Swerve is great. Swerve is legit dope. I love Swerve. I'm not concerned too much about Swerve. I'm not really too concerned too much about Top Dollar either. He can talk. Adonis is a little small. I'm gonna give him some. Maybe they can run in the tag team division a little bit. That ought to be fun. It seems like they're really diversifying SmackDown. I'm talking SmackDown is black as fuck right now. As it stands right now, the Street Profits are on SmackDown, New Day is on SmackDown, and now Hit Row is on SmackDown. Can you just, they gonna be mad niggerish on SmackDown, man. Just imagine if they moved the Hurt Business to SmackDown. SmackDown be the blackest wrestling show ever. Just, I don't even know if that's be a good thing or not. You know, I don't even know what that'd be great or not, but just the antics of the Street Profits and the New Day alone is gonna give me full body cringe. So I don't know, but I love Swerve. Swerve is a cut above the rest. The question is going to be, of course, what are they going to do about his title? Do you strip him? Do you have? I mean, you're pretty much telling everybody that if he wrestles, let's say Santos Escobar within the next 2 weeks, he's just going to lose the title. That's what you're telling everybody, right? You're not telling me that he's going to defend the title and then get stripped and then never get beat and then they're going to have a tournament on NXT or something like that. That could be fun, you know, because he's gotten drafted. What they're telling me is he's going to have to defend his title, likely against Santos Escobar, and Escobar is going to take it. And that is going to be very anticlimactic. It's going to be, I mean, you can't really build a match where everybody knows the finish, especially in a match that could have been so much fun, like Swerve and Escobar one-on-one for the title, especially in the main event or something like that. That could have been money as far as your TV ratings and everything goes. But what you decided to do is to shit on it by saying, oh yeah, Swerve is going to SmackDown, so he's probably about to drop this belt. Silly. It's absolutely silly. If you knew you were going to be drafting Hit Row, why didn't Swerve drop the belt 2 weeks ago or something? This is the complete lack of forethought, the complete lack of planning. You shouldn't need 3 more weeks to finish up your storylines. It should already be done. You just had a pay-per-view. For Christ's sake. Come on, man. This draft thing is stupid. It's stupid. It's a waste of everybody's time. And it got to the point where people were booing it. People were like, boo, draft. Yeah, it sucks. Yes, of course it sucks. The only surprises were Austin Theory and Hit Row. Most everybody else were drafted to the show they were already on. This is ridiculous. We still got to go through Monday. So I did pretty good. I got 5 picks, right? 5.5. Roman Reigns, Charlotte, Drew McIntyre, New Day, Jeff Hardy, and Dominic Mysterio. I gave myself half a point for that because I didn't want Ray, but we got Dominic. But Raw just drafted everybody who's already on Raw. So here's hoping Austin Theory does a good job on Raw this time and doesn't derail his own career being stupid for the second time. And here's hoping Hit Row can nail it and do a great job on SmackDown. I know they're going to be pretty cool. They're going to be cringe, man. I already know it. They cringe right now. They need to be heels, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right, so I'm going to do this separate because I want to do SmackDown in a different video. All right, so let me know what you guys think of the draft results in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel, man. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Skin tone, so why attach yourself and piggyback the wealth you didn't earn or lack yourself? I'm telling you to own up to your own success and failures. It's a reason why these sleazy guys